Hey guys, Delman here with another video. That's right, we're going to be continuing our starter ship video series. Now, I'm sorry if I sound a little under the weather, but yeah, this flu thing is still kicking my ass, and it's really painful to talk. But let's try to continue to make videos, because that seems like a good idea. But yeah, let's get to work on our part 2 of Star Citizen ships, starters for players who have just gotten into the game, or maybe for people that are looking for more other types of ships within their budget. This is for ships that are all within the $100 price range. So let's, without further ado, holding back, let's jump right into it and get this thing started. So, as you guys know, we're doing this alphabetically, so we had Aegis and Anvil in our last episode. It's now time to move on to Consolidated Outland. Now, Consolidated Outland have basically been a core part of the game for a long time. The Mustang and the Aurora starter packs have been available for a very long time now, so these are the ships that a lot of people will own. So let's jump right in with the first Mustang, the Mustang Alpha. Now, the specs for some of these ships are going to be relatively similar because they're all on the same base chassis. So let's get started. So it has a small radar, small computer, small power plant, 2 small coolers, 2 small shield generators, 2 small fuel intakes, 2 small fuel tanks, a small quantum drive, a small jump module, and a small quantum fuel tank. For thrusters, it has 2 retro, 2 main, and 8 gimbaled maneuvering thrusters. Weapons, it's got 2 size 1 available, so that's decent. It also has a turret, apparently, which is the one that's mounted under the nose, which is pretty cool. So it has 1 mount with a size 2 weapon installed. Now, if I'm correct, that's the one that has 2 guns on it. If I am correct, of course, I may be wrong. They have done a rework on the ship, so some of this information might be a bit squirrely to say the best. So yeah, let's see what else it has. It also has 1 utility item, which is a store-all mini cargo box, because, nothing says versatility like strapping on a big box that says, hey, we can hold some cargo. So let's check out what they say on this ship. Inspired by Consolidated Outland CEO Silas Cromer's cutting-edge vision, the Mustang Alpha is a sleek, stylish spacecraft that utilizes ultralight alloys to push power ratios to the limits, albeit sometimes unsafely. And now, with the optional cargo carrier, you can have the Alpha's advantages without sacrificing carrying capacity. So, it's a pretty cool ship. Its max cargo capacity is 6 cargo units. So yeah, like, if you're flying your ship to work every day, if you get fired, you actually have enough room to get all your stuff into your cardboard box and into your spaceship for once, which is nice. So that's pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting ship, the Mustang Alpha. I'm gonna have to admit it. It is the better looking of the 2 main starter ships, like that and the Auroras, because let's face it, the Auroras, they're not the most pretty to look at, to be honest. But yeah, like the new Mustang series, like in terms of the rework, is really nice. The new engine pods are pretty badass. They remind me a lot of the Halo Pelican kind of engine configuration from the Halo series, which is cool. The canopy has become definitely more stylish. Before, it did feel like you were riding a space motorcycle just surrounded in glass. And to be honest, the Mustang series is not that durable a ship. So would I recommend the Mustang series to you? Now that's an interesting question because there's so many other starter ships within that bracket, but I would possibly say yes, simply for the fact it looks more aerodynamic. It probably is more aerodynamic than the Aurora, and it's definitely going to be the quicker of the 2 machines in terms of baseline capabilities. But the Aurora is a little bit more versatile, in my honest opinion. A little bit more, it's got a little bit of a longer lifespan in terms of its usage, but definitely the Mustangs are definitely a great ship to take a look at. So let's look at the next Mustang in the series. So the next Mustang in our lineup here is more focused on exploration. Well, you could call it exploration, but to be honest, it feels more like a VW camper van in terms of its exploration capabilities. It's more of a, hey, let's go check out that planet 2 systems over, land there for a while, and, you know, go camping kind of a thing. Its stats are basically the same as the others, except this one has 2 small fuel tanks. So yeah, that's basically it. That's the only difference, and it does not have the utility item that the other one does have. So what does it say for this one? The Mustang Beta is, with its unprecedented range, is made for long duration flights. The factory standard Taurus's Leaper jump enables the Beta to travel to the galaxy's farthest systems with ease, while the Starship's unique Common 4T living quarters will make the journey feel like you have never left home. So if your idea of never leaving home involves staying inside a really, really, really small living quarters, then this is definitely the ship for you. it's a decent ship, don't get me wrong. I really do like the this Mustang. It's cool. The Mustang Beta is a very funky kind of design. I don't mind it at all. That new jump engine technology hopefully will overheat a little less compared to the others, but I am not sure how this will play out in the long run because we are yet to see the full mechanics for exploration implemented into the game. So this is more of a touring kind of ship, if I'm perfectly honest. I would honestly expect this to be something that people would use to just travel around the system, sort of like as a shuttle craft type thing with its living quarters and stuff. So like maybe to go visit some friends which are in a different system, but you just don't have the ship to get there. This might be the perfect ship to stop along the way. That said, they will be adding in rest stops with living quarters on board, so it kind of makes that factor of the ship a little redundant. But it is a cool ship, don't get me wrong, I do like it. I mean, I honestly don't see too much exploration happening with this ship, but I could be wrong, you know, we are yet to see what the future holds. So yeah, like, it's a pretty cool ship, and, yeah, I honestly, though, I would not really recommend it because I've seen other exploration ships that I would probably recommend first. They are a little bit more expensive, though. This is the cheaper end of the spectrum, so there is always that. So yeah, like the Mustang series, finding parts for them is going to be relatively easily, God, yeah, because that's a word in this sentence. No, it's relatively easy to find parts for. I am, yeah, messing my words here. I do apologize. So yeah, it's a pretty cool ship, but the Mustang series, I've just got a really bad gut feeling with this ship in particular in the Mustang series because I just feel like it doesn't fit in too well. It does have the larger living quarters, but it just seems a bit too out of place in exploration. I honestly see it doing maybe something else. Maybe it's more useful as a kind of camping ship, back to the VW van thing. So yeah, let's move on to the next Mustang in the series. So let's now talk about the Mustang Gamma, probably the second most expensive of the Mustangs, and probably the second most effective. Actually, scratch that, probably the most effective Mustang in terms of their roles. Now the Mustang Gamma is a racing ship. This ship is designed specifically for race. It's designed to go fast. Because like someone wise once said, if you're not first, you're last. And I'm Ricky Bobby, and I'm the best there is. So yeah, let's have a look at what they say about this ship. Consolidated Outland's designer and engineering teams have managed to tweak and refine the Mustang into an admirable racer. The end result, the Mustang Gamma, has smooth acceleration and power on demand thanks to an innovative package featuring 3 powerful magma jet engines for maximum thrust. So, you know, if you like to go fast, and then this is definitely the ship for you. Now, this is definitely going to be the probably, yeah, the most expensive ship to run out of the Mustang series, which is surprising. But considering the fact that the next one is a military grade ship, but race parts are going to be really, really expensive. That said, I honestly see this being a highly competitive racer. So for its stat line, it's basically got everything the same, except it's got 3 main thrusters instead of the 2, and it has 2 size 1 mounts. So yeah, which is pretty interesting. It has guns, it can defend itself, but I don't see this thing being too effective in that like, line of work as a combat ship. It is basically a racer. But if racing is for you, this is definitely a ship to take a really long look at, because it's got a really, really awesome cockpit layout, really good visibility, a really tight sort of silhouette to it, great engine placement, and also it's pretty light, super maneuverable, and very fast. And those are the key features for a racer. So I honestly think this is where the Mustang base design really does start to come into its own, is in speed and maneuverability. And that really helps the next ship in this line. So let's move on to that. So, the Mustang Delta. Now, the Mustang Delta, honestly, in my opinion, is a really, really cool and unique combat ship. It's quite unlike anything else in the lineup. It's got such a strange silhouette, really interesting weapon placement, but yeah, it's perfect for this style of combat, which is the stealthy kind of combat. It's not designed to be detected, which is interesting. So let's read what they say on the ship. While it may not be able to go toe-to-toe with some of the military-specific ships, by reinforcing the Mustang's already strong hull construction with Consolidated Outland own line of cavalry-class mass reduction armor, the Delta has reduced cross-sectional radar signature that evens the playing field. Basically, it means that whenever you get just the right distance away from your target, but you're still in effective weapons range, you will no longer appear on their radar unless they have a decent radar aboard their ship. So this is a really, really good sort of like sneak and shoot kind of ship. So if you get into combat with this thing, you want to outmaneuver your foe, but also stay just out of their radar range, which is a really, really interesting type of combat. So it means you don't get hit. And as we know, it doesn't matter how thick your armor is or how powerful your shields are if you don't take a hit. So as for its specifications, everything is basically the same except for its weapons. As for its weapons, it's got 2 size 1 guns. It also has a turret with a size 2, well, 2 size 2s, and it also has 2 size 1 racks of 16 rocket pods. So these are not lock-on missiles. These are the spray and pray kind, which are pretty interesting, which is kind of handy if you think about it, because the enemy will not get much of an alert when all of a sudden just missiles are being thrown at it, and they're not getting a lock-on or nothing. It's just all of a sudden missile spam, and then they're dead, which is pretty handy. Now, this Mustang obviously is the most expensive of the bunch in terms of budget, but it's also the most effective in a combat role. This is something I definitely see being utilized by carriers and things like this, but I honestly don't see it being that effective as maybe a bounty hunting ship, because it just lacks the, like the kind of stuff required to be a bounty hunting ship. It lacks the requirements such as being able to hold a prisoner and things like this. But it is an excellent combat craft, don't get me wrong, but it needs carrier support in this ship. It needs to have that constant flow of come back, rearm, leave, that kind of thing. So if you're looking to maybe complement your already, like maybe you own a capital ship and you need fighters for it, then this is a good selection for you. It's relatively cheap in terms of the star system price range, and it's got excellent kind of capabilities to function with a capital ship, because the capital ship obviously will have such a large radar signature. It will be hard for someone to pick something like this up with all that this distracting kind of like material and whatnot on their radar scanners. So yeah, it's definitely a good ship to take a look at. The Mustang series is a really interesting series of ships, but this one by far is the most interesting in my opinion out of the entire setup. So next up is possibly the my honest opinion, it's gonna sound a bit biased here, the most for your money types of ships in terms of what you're getting for the price range is Drake Interplanetary. Now, Drake Interplanetary is a very unique manufacturer, as they literally sell ships to everybody, and that's a pretty groovy thing. So it means these ships are, like parts of them, should be available almost everywhere. These ships are designed to be cheap, cheerful, easy to maintain, easy to work with. But that said, Drake ships do not have escape pods or ejection seats, which means it's a different style of sci-fi. What it basically means is you're playing the game without having a safety net, you could say, for your character in a game with things like permadeath and stuff. So Drake Interplanetary is definitely a unique type of gameplay experience in terms of all the manufacturers and stuff. Yes, it'll be easy to find parts to your ship, no, it will be not so easy to find parts of your character. So, you know, you get where I'm going with this. It's a different style of sci-fi, as I've mentioned in the last video, but I'll quickly reiterate here. So Drake Interplanetary, what I mean by that is, someone who has most of the other manufacturers in terms of ships, they all have escape pods and ejection seats, so when their ship maybe takes too much damage, they can escape and then hope for a pickup in time before they run out of air, or maybe drift into the gravity well of a planet and die. As for Drake pilots, it's a different style of gameplay entirely. Maybe their ship has taken so much damage it is basically dead in the water and the enemy decides to fly away, or the ship has detonated but there are some crew members still alive aboard the ship. What then happens is, because these guys don't have the escape pod or anything like that, they have to basically put together like some kind of jury-rigged beacon of some type, or maybe boost the signal of their suit beacon using the leftover components aboard the ship or something like that, because the ship is now completely dead. Most of the crew members have died aboard. It's more of a hardcore sci-fi kind of feel to it. It's not the I'm gonna quickly escape or jump in my escape pod kind of thing. It's more of a, right, how do we survive Red October kind of thing. Definitely more my style of sci-fi, if I'm perfectly honest. I absolutely love that style, the more hardcore kind of feel to it. So in this lineup we have two major ships here. We have the Herald and the Cutlass Black. So let's see what there is to say about the Herald. So this is what they say about the Herald. The Drake Herald is a small armored ship designed to safely get information from point A to point B, featuring a powerful central engine for high-speed transit and getting the power needed, effective data encryption and containment. Advanced encryption software and armored computer core, the Herald is unique among personal spacecraft that is designed to be easily cleaned in the danger of capture. Now, easily cleaned doesn't mean it comes with a bottle of Domestos or bleach or whatever, and, you know, cleaning materials and a bucket and a mop. What it means is the hard drives on board can be easily wiped in the event of the ship's capture. Now, what this ship does is it basically gets information from point A to point B, and what does that mean, you might be wondering? Well, it takes information from one of the satellites in a system and takes all that information to the next system over, such as bounties or that type of information, to let the next system over know of what the hell is going on, what, you know, like what has changed on the wanted list and things like that, which makes this ship a high priority target for smugglers, pirates, and these types who maybe work outside the law. Meaning they will try to blow you up because they do not want their information being spread. They don't want you to transport the information of how they are now wanted in 3 systems over to the next system to make it up to 4, if you get what I mean. But the Herald is definitely a unique ship. It's lightning fast. It's the fastest ship in a straight line in the game. I mean, the engines on this thing are ridiculous. The living quarters are a little cramped, but it is basically an information carrying ship. If you want to have something which is more in line with the Matrix and that type of style, then this is definitely the ship for you. So for components, it has small radar, small computer, small power plant, 2 small coolers, 2 small shield generators, 2 small fuel tanks, 2 small fuel intakes. So it has a small quantum drive, small jump module, and a small quantum fuel tank. As for weapons, it has got 1 size 3 weapon on board and 2 size 2 mounts. Now, it's a pretty interesting ship. It's unique. It also has got on board here 2 size 3 racks, which is pretty interesting, with 4 missiles per rack as standard, 2 retro thrusters, 2 main, and 14 fixed maneuvering thrusters. The Herald is basically this kind of information shuttling ship, so it's a completely unique style of gameplay. This is for those who want to be in the information trade. Like, if you want to be an information broker, this is the ship for you. It's pretty cool. You can probably use this thing to listen into comms and whatnot. Also, it does have these insane server room on board. It's pretty unique. Definitely got the Drake feel to it. Definitely got this unique styling to it. It's pretty darn cool. I'm guessing there's also other modules you can get for this to jam enemy communication. So there's all this other sort of gameplay to do with this ship. It's very unique. So yeah, definitely look out for this one. If you're looking for more of that style of gameplay, then, and the $100 budget range is your price range, definitely check out the Herald. You might be pleasantly surprised. So the next ship in this list is probably the most versatile ship out of all the ships listed from the last episode, and this episode. It is the Cutlass Black. Now, so many of you already own or have owned the Cutlass Black in your time that it is a very, very common ship. It's Star Citizen's most popular ship in the game. There are more Cutlass Blacks out there than any other kind of ship, which is kind of interesting considering the amount of Auroras and Mustangs sold. And I believe that was mentioned about a year ago or something. So yeah, definitely a very popular one, and for good reason. Now, yet again, it does have the pitfalls of being a Drake ship, which means no escape pod, no ejection seats, but yet again, this ship also has the Drake bonus of being upgunned to make up for any kind of failings to do with its armor or whatever. Now, Drake ships are not as durable as military-grade ships, obviously, because they're sold to the public. Now, to bear that in mind, they're not pushovers either. Some Drake ships are real sturdy. A Drake ship can really take a kicking and keep on ticking. You can lose an engine, you can lose a wing, you could lose something which would be catastrophic to most ships, but still function. And that is very important when you have no ejection or escape pods. So let's see what they say about the Drake Cutlass Black. Drake Interplanetary claims the Cutlass Black is a low-cost, easy-to-maintain solution for local in-system militia units. The larger-than-average cargo hold, RIO seat, and the dedicated tractor mount are the company's literature insists for facilitating search and rescue operations. Now, what this ship does double as is an excellent piracy craft. It's basically a boarding craft almost. It has 3 main entrances, 2 side doors, and a ramp at the back. It has plenty of storage, 2 sleeping quarters for 2 crew members. It has gun racks. It's also got plenty of seating for a small raiding crew or a search and rescue team. Now, this does make an excellent search and rescue craft, funnily enough, but it also makes an excellent piracy craft. So this ship is yet again very versatile. If you're just looking for something that is going to be rugged, reliable, easy to maintain, very DIY kind of ship, this is the ship for you. Now, in reality, as we know, the DIY car definitely is obviously going to be the Ford Mustang. And I'm not talking about the modern ones, I'm talking about the older models from the 60s and 70s. It's very much like that. It's very much a project ship, if you get what I mean. If you have a ship that you love to fly around and maintain and, keep it running and stuff, then it's also effective at that. But it's also effective at being check out my Cutlass Black with its unique, coffee mugs and stuff, like coffee holders. It's very much like that also. I imagine the Cutlass Black components swamping the market and having some really interesting upgradable options in all different styles of gameplay. So you're looking at maybe going to the more or less than lawful systems. There are probably some unique components there, but then again, there might be some really interesting militia parts in the more lawful end of the spectrum. The Cutlass Black is an amazing ship in my honest opinion, and is always in my top 10 ships. I'd have to say this is the number 1 ship in my honest opinion for the $100 price range kind of area. Definitely get tons of usage out of this ship. Really, really, really fun usage also. And because of its sort of aerodynamic design here, and yes, I did say the Cutlass Black is aerodynamic, you know what I mean. It's got wings and stuff, it boasts so much firepower. It's definitely a ship to look out for. So let's see the stat line for this ship. So, the Cutlass Black has a medium radar, a medium computer, a medium power plant, 2 medium coolers, a medium shield generator, a medium fuel intake, medium fuel tank, medium quantum drive, medium jump module, a medium quantum fuel tank. It has 2 retro, 2 main, and let's have a look here, 26 fixed maneuvering thrusters. As for weapons, it's got 4 size 3s, which is pretty powerful if you think about it. I mean, honestly, it's pretty decent. And on the turret, it has got 1 mount for a size 3 turret with 2 guns per each gun mount, which is pretty decent. So it can also fit the size 3s on the turret also, I believe. So it's pretty handy. As for missiles, you have 6 size 4 missile racks. So yeah, let's continue. So this is a really interesting ship for 3 reasons. Yes, there are other types of upgrades you can get for the ships and other kinds of components and stuff, but never has a ship been utilized by so many different types of players. This ship is utilized by cargo runners, smugglers, pirates, bounty hunters, search and rescue teams, freaking police. It's utilized by everybody. This ship basically is across the entire spectrum of roles and things like that. So it's really unique. I am yet to see an exploration Cutlass, but now the Corsairs come around. I doubt that'll ever happen. But yeah, the Cutlass is a very cool, unique ship, and I would highly recommend it. Definitely, absolutely adore this ship. I absolutely love it. It's one of the most common ships in the game, but that is for good reason. It's basically like that van that you always see utilized by every company driving up and down your street. So yeah, definitely check it out if you can, and if you were looking to pick up a ship within your price range, definitely consider this against maybe things like, you know, the Freelancer and other ships like that. So definitely take a good look at this one. It can hold ground vehicles such as a bike and stuff, and still have room for a little bit of cargo also. So there's a lot of versatility and like lots of usability out of this kind of ship. So don't miss out on it. So guys, that's gonna about wrap it up for this episode. There will be an episode 3. This is a 3-parter for the $100 price range kind of ships. What is the right ship for you? And all that groovy stuff. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to you for coming back to watch my videos and subscribing to the channel and all that really kick-ass groovy stuff. And I want to say a special thank you to the Patreons who support me and keep this whole thing going, because without them I simply would not be able to make this content. And I'd also like to apologize, guys, you know, if my voice is a little off. I am not too well right now, and I'm dealing with quite a bit of stuff behind the scenes. I'll probably go into more detail about that in another later date kind of video. Maybe if you guys are up for that, I could make a behind the scenes kind of video to let you guys know more about what goes into making these videos and all that good stuff. It's up to you guys if you want to see that, of course. And all that groovy business. So yeah, I just really want to say a huge thank you though to the Patreons who have been supporting me and keep supporting me. So yeah, so Andrew Burton, Bill Brilliant, Brandon Kelly, Brandon Manuel, David Toombs, Izumin, of course Izumin, can't forget Izumin, Samuel Pitt, Tom Talaba, and Yellow. You guys, thank you so much for supporting me and keeping this really kick-ass thing going. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think and all that good stuff. It is absolutely killing me to talk right now, for those of you who haven't gathered that already. But yeah, let's keep this thing rocking, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So you know the drill, commanders. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse. If you're looking for a Bar Citizen event, why not check out Bar Citizen San Antonio, Texas? That's right, there's a Bar Citizen event for you to go to. Check out the description for all the relevant information, such as a map, a link to their Discord, and all that good stuff. And I cannot recommend it enough. It's full of the nicest individuals you could possibly hope to meet, all itching to talk about Star Citizen and sci-fi and what the hell ever. So why don't you jump on down there and say hello to some of the guys, and I hope you have a wonderful and amazing time.